Like movies in general are becoming background noise.
Uh,
Movies are losing the ability to captivate an audience, and people are just okay with it. We're in a generation of short attention spans, and we're just catering to that.
you don't feel like it's made for the actual theatrical experience.
Yeah. Maybe they'll give you plot points and sound bits that move the plot along, but not actually take you through something.
I don't think the new Spider-Man movie was that good. I want to give my review and opinion on the new Spider-Man movie that just released. I've been a comic book fan and a Spider-Man fan at the minimum for the last, I'll say, 20 years. I remember when the new Spider-Man came out back in early 2000s when Tobey Maguire played him. I've been a Spider-Man fan since Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. I love the character Spider-Man. I love comic books in general. And I'm going to show you a recording of me and my fiance's conversation about the new movie, our raw opinions about it, seeing it that night. And I'm going to chime in as future Sam to kind of give more insight and in depth if needed. But I wanted to give my honest take on the movie. Now, it's going to sound like we're shitting on the movie a lot. I thought the movie was okay. I just think there was potential there that was completely missed or forgotten amongst the pile of things that we're going to discuss in the video. So stick around. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in the video. Peace. So we have just gotten back home from watching the new Spider-Man movie. Was it Brand New Day? I think Tom Holland was pretty good. I think seeing his struggle to be Spider-Man and what he sacrifices and what he's missing out, I think they did a good job showing that, especially in the beginning of the movie. Outside of a few scenes, the movie became predictable for me at a certain point. Once they introduced this certain device in the movie, I kind of like, oh, so this is gonna happen. Oh, okay, they introduced this character. Okay, so this is gonna happen. And I felt like the movie really didn't have anything for me to look forward to, or it didn't subvert my expectations. Right. Again, I did enjoy Tom Holland. I enjoyed the Punisher. I enjoyed that. I enjoy a few side characters, maybe one. Outside of that, the movie was pretty predictable, boring. The pacing felt all over the place. I just didn't find anything that I didn't say in the actual video. Is it didn't evoke any emotion out of me that was beyond surface level. Just I get it. I did not feel an emotional investment of any of the characters. In the beginning, they did that with Spider-Man, saying that he has to live his life without his friends or kind of watch them live their life for expanded time. And in the beginning, it kind of blinked past that. Um, but you kind of got the idea of what he was going through. But you didn't feel, or it didn't make you feel invested. It felt like a time lapse quite quickly, so you didn't really get to feel the impact of the loneliness, but it was implied. It's kind of telling you in your face, hey, look what he's going through. He's sad. He's alone. My fiance gets more into that later on, so I don't want to take away from her. But I felt like I missed that.
Honestly, it was pretty boring for me too. And it just felt like it told a story without it being a really good plot for a movie. It felt like it's just like, hey, what's new with Spider-Man? Like an update. But as far as actually having a good plot, like a good in-depth storyline, it was lacking. It felt like the villain of the story didn't have a good backstory. Any plot twists or twists and turns was just, there was very little build-up. It was just kind of told. And I realize a lot of movies have been doing this lately, where they're literally just describing the big plot twist. It doesn't require your brain power. It's like, hey, we're just gonna blatantly hand you this part. It's lazy storytelling. It just felt like 2.5 hours of lazy storytelling. You were right, there were a couple scenes. Like, there was a scene out of college that actually required you to kind of rub your brain cells together a little bit. It was slightly thought-provoking. And there were so few conversations or scenes like that throughout the movie that actually required you to think and like draw you into it. The rest was just so surface level.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand how many times there was a scene that actually had some form of depth. And by like one hand, I mean maybe one finger.
Ooh.
Oh wait, we're supposed to be talking about the good, right?
Cooking that shit. Damn.
It's like even the big, wait, good. Let me pause real quick.
Then you just can't wait to shit on this movie, huh?
I'm just struggling that hard to think about something that I enjoyed. I mean, Zendaya was amazing as always. Like, she does such a really good job at portraying emotion. And I probably enjoyed Zendaya. And I also, I'll cut this out so there's no spoilers. But who's that actor that plays Frank Castle?
You had to look his name up. He was in the trailers too, by the way.
Huh?
He was in the trailers.
Oh, he was? Oh, I didn't see it. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm not worried about that. I enjoyed Frank Castle's character. I was like, his moments were actually very, very well written. Especially like for his character.
Yeah.
His interaction. Frank Castle might have been the best character-wise. I would say Zendaya was probably best actress, like performance in this movie. But as far as character writing, their writing of Frank Castle was really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Frank Castle. When Frank Castle was on scene, like there was a scene where a character meets Frank Castle, and she saw something that to the normal person would see and would ask questions, but when this character asked him a question about something they saw, the whole audience went, oh shit, because that was the wrong question to ask. And I feel like he was the only character in the movie to evoke emotion out of a person without even saying anything. Just understanding the context of a character, you understood that question that was asked was a no-no. Now,
also makes you think though, would someone who doesn't know Frank Castle's history have had the same reaction? Because there's some people who don't know who Frank Castle is.
I would say yes, because of how he was able to evoke emotion without saying a word. For someone someone who can see these certain images or things in a place and ask a question, and then all you see is his face turn from casual to sour, something's off, and he sold that moment.
Yeah.
Did
that very well.
There were not a lot of moments that evoked emotion. Like I distinctly remember that moment, and I was going, "Oh, they shouldn't have asked that."
Yeah, like I can honestly say I probably enjoyed every time he was on screen. Every scene that had Frank Castle in it, I can honestly say I enjoyed that part of the movie. I cannot say that about I don't think any other character. I think every other character had at least one or multiple scenes where it lost me. You don't have me hooked anymore. But all of Frank Castle's scenes were incredibly enjoyable to watch.
And you know what's crazy about this conversation so far? We've yet to mention the main character of the movie, which is Spider-Man.
Bro.
Like, to be completely honest, to be completely honest, to me, this was a Spider-Man movie. I just don't think this movie was about. I feel like the movie was trying to do a lot of things at once, and the essence of learning who Spider-Man is kind of just was like it felt like it was like it felt like the chorus to the song. You get the verses, and then you get the chorus to take you to the next verse. That's kind of how Spider-Man scenes were. It was like a Spider-Man scene, him, you know, trauma. All right, let's go to the next scene. The scene plays out. The scene sometimes is better than what you see with Spider-Man, and then trauma. All right, next scene, trauma. Spider-Man trauma. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like Spider-Man had enough room for him to have any emotional impact on the scenes. Like, I can't tell you a scene that made me feel for Spider-Man. Needs like how other Spider-Man movies showed it, to where you like, dude, this is bad. Like, there was a scene where I can't spoil it, but you would think that as an audience who loves Spider-Man, that this scene would crush you. You will feel the crush. But I remember responding, going, "Ooh, that's tough." I'm like, yeah, yeah, it's tough. But as someone who's trying to get immersed into a movie, I want to be able to evoke those feelings that the character's having, and I just couldn't emote with the character. I just didn't. The only time I felt something is when Punisher was saying something, or when Punisher was on scene. Like, it felt real. Everything else kind of felt sped run, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, what's crazy is I had struggled to remember what was Spider-Man's big conflict in this movie. I can remember what so many other characters went through, and then aside from like the main villain, you know, our main character is also having his own battles, and I actually had to try to remember what was going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was he going through again? Yeah, it's almost like the main character's story was the backstory.
Going back, and now while listening to this, while I'm talking to you guys now, I think my fiance hit the nail right on the head. It felt like Spider-Man's story was the background, like the foundation, and they were building on top of that with other things. When I felt like Spider-Man's struggle should have been the forefront. I felt like they were like speed running. Like I said, they were speed running his trauma, his issues, his barriers, his heartbreak, his pain. It didn't feel like they put it. It didn't feel like that was the primary vision of the movie. It felt like things happen to him, they suck, but they're not the focus. Like, they gave him scenes, but they did not give any impact in those scenes to us. And I think my fiance nailed it when she said that. At the beginning, at if you tear it all apart, is literally Spider-Man discovering his powers again, and he is now struggling to deal with his new said powers. So they basically, I guess they put a patch in and gave him some buffs, and now he's just as good as he is in Marvel Rivals now. So shout out to Spider-Man players out there. But they basically just I guess he buffed himself by being stressed out and traumatized, which is by the way, I actually think it's pretty cool now that I think about it, babe, because, you know, going to a little spoiler territory, because we all know mutants are on the rise coming into the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So the thing when it comes to mutants, I don't know if you know this, babe. Typically, mutants get their powers during their preteen years, or usually induced by stressful moments. So
maybe when they shot Magneto's mama in his face.
I did not realize she said when Magneto's mom got shot in the face. I would have ended the conversation. Jesus. I genuinely had no idea she said that shit. Jesus Christ. What?
When they shot Magneto's mama in his face?
Yeah, exactly. So hey. Oh shit. Nah, man. Nah. Nah, no shot. They become stressed when they get stressed, or they're in high stressful situations, their mutant powers manifest. And I think that's the angle that they were going off of when it comes to Spider-Man stressing out and his mutated side becoming more prevalent. I think that's the angle that they were going for. I think that was pretty cool. But I think it was kind of just shoehorned in, like, hey, here.
Because I didn't get that at all.
Because Spider-Man because Spider-Man literally went through so much even before this movie. You mean to tell me that now, and oh, they blamed it on isolation and being alone. By the way, but
Yeah.
I felt like they could have did that without saying that, because I feel like that made it weaker. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, typically mutants get their powers during their adolescence or under extreme stress, and I think that would have been a better reason than he's lonely. But I can understand why.
Yeah, trying to appeal to the male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, I think if that is that what they're trying to do, the male loneliness epidemic. Like, sorry, his grandma, his aunt died. I don't think that's the same as male lonely epidemic. But if that's what they were going for, they.
No, I actually don't think it was. I was just arrested.
Hey, no, low key. Hey, look, we can speculate. That low key, I low key might think that shit true too. Shit, that's crazy. Oh, let's give our final thoughts. I would you like to go first? Would you like me to go first?
You go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I think this movie is okay. I thought the movie was okay. It was not. I think it. I didn't care for it that much. Now that I've been talking about it with my fiance for like the last hour or two, I don't like it. I don't like it as much as I thought I did. I think Tom Holland was good. I think him being Spider-Man is good. I think he's the perfect Spider-Man cast, to be completely transparent. I thought a lot of the side characters were there with no purpose. I felt like they kind of shoehorned like Zendaya's character in there. I don't know. I felt like she needed to be there for emotional things, but the emotional beats didn't hit. I think the friendship of Ned and Peter Parker was a lot stronger than the relationship between Zendaya's character and Tom Holland's character. It felt more real. It felt more like they were like buddies. I get it's a difference, but that did it better for me than that. The villains were pretty one-dimensional or not much to go on, pretty boring, and the story at a certain point became very predictable, and none of the emotional beats hit for me. Punisher, by far the best actor in this movie to me, and I'm not saying the best actor, but his moments stood out the most, and I believe that he had some of the most emotional, impactful moments, even though they were small. Overall, I think the movie was pretty mid, if not less than mid. I don't think this was the blockbuster that people were hoping or expecting. I still think it's going to do numbers at the box office. I just don't think it was as good as it could be. And as a summary of it all, I think it was completely and utterly just rushed. I think they sped run the whole movie, to be completely honest, for my own opinion. And I think that summarizes how I feel about the movie. What about you, sweetheart?
Well, like, I guess if you were to ask me, I would say you're not going to, if you go to the movie expecting that classic MCU movie feel, you're not going to get it. You're going to be disappointed. I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that classic? What do you mean by that classic MCU movie feel? What do you mean by that?
Just like a good superhero plot movie, just where there is, high risk and good villains and the character development and plot twist and all the things that made us fall in love with superhero movies. You don't get that anymore.
Oh wow! Okay.
This movie seemed like one of those ones that are just doing so many different things and executing none of them fully.
Base.
There's no big build-up. There's no investment. Like, I don't feel invested in these characters. I feel like they're just telling me a story. They're not taking me through it with them. They're just sitting there spoon-feeding it to me. It's so little depth in almost anything, and I see where they tried. I see where they tried. There's a couple scenes where it's like, I see how this wanted to be, a big emotional turning point for this character, but like, y'all just failed.
Yeah.
It just didn't. It's like, I see where you tried, and you failed. But I guess points for trying. I guess.
If you can take one piece of the movie that you think damned it the most.
Probably it would just have to be the lazy storytelling. The
Mm,
parts where they don't give the audience a chance to rub their brain cells together. They don't give the audience a chance to think and get in depth and figure it out. Everything is just spoon fed to you.
yeah.
It's like there's no real digging. There's no aha moments. It's just, here you go. This happened because of this, and this character just fully explains everything going on face value.
Any final thoughts before you go about the movie or movies in general?
Like movies in general are becoming background noise. Movies are losing the ability to captivate an audience, and people are just okay with it. We're in a generation of short attention spans, and we're just catering to that. And it's kind of disappointing. That's why there's been so few good movies out now. Because it's just like, it's like they're written for a 6-second Vine attention span.
You don't feel like it's made for the actual theatrical experience.
Yeah. Maybe they'll give you plot points and sound bits that move the plot along, but not actually take you through something.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Sad. This is a sad season for movies, you know?
Especially for one like this one. Like, this one was supposed to be a banger.
Right?
All right. Well, I appreciate your final thoughts. My final thoughts, just like yours, echoes the same. I don't have anything special to say except, it's like somebody put a 2.5 hour YouTube video together. It just felt like it did not feel. I think you said it while we was in the car. This could have been a TV series, and it would have been a lot better.
That is true. You felt like it was just kind of telling a story without a big dynamic plot, and this could have been just a series of TV shows. Yeah. This could have been like a season 1 for Spider-Man, or season, I don't know, whatever season it would be on.
Yeah. We honestly, the more you talked about how much you were disappointed in the movie, the more I realized that damn yeah. I was like, cause I'm like, geez. But yeah. The movie was, like you said, like my fiance said, if you expected like a good story, you're not gonna get what you want if you expect it for it to evoke emotion. I feel like the movie is long and might be boring for younger kids if they're looking for some Spider-Man activity. But I also feel like the movie is adult too. But if you're looking for something grounded and more meaningful as an adult, I don't feel like you really get that. I feel like you get a blurb of everything and it just becomes slop. And I don't even think the movie is that bad. I'm just disappointed about what it could have been, and it could have been so much better. Like, this is not the worst movie ever to come out. It is not complete and utter dog shit. Is this dog shit compared to what it could have been?
Yeah, and that's fair. Because we are really hating on this movie, but like, it's not terrible. You know, like if you need something to do on the weekend, by all means, go see it. But just adjust your expectations when you go to see it. You know?
Yeah. Again,
like, it's not terrible.
But it could have been so much more.
Yeah, and I don't think it needed to be 2.5 hours.
Yeah. All right, babe. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you, honey. First. I love you first. All right. All right. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks so much for I'm drawing while I am talking about the movie, sweetheart. So I want to see a picture about what I'm drawing, so and hopefully you and or the audience out there will enjoy it while we talk. I think the next movie on our list is probably going to be Odyssey. Are we gonna do the same thing again? I don't know. I'm enjoying it. But me and my fiance love talking about movies after we watch them. She just decided to entertain me tonight and just record with me. Thank you again. Until next time, have a good night. Peace.
Bye.
Out. Bye. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at the camera. Peace. Out.